Everybody, it is wonderful to have you with us for our wonderful Sisterhood Shabbaton. This is just one of my favorite parts of the year, every year, when our sisterhood brings so much of their spirit, of their music, of their insight, and always such a beautiful theme. And we're delighted the Shabbat, both today and tomorrow, to celebrate the diversity of our Jewish peoplehood and our diverse roots. And we're just really glad that you're here, and we hope that you'll enjoy the service. Our service tonight is not from our regular Mishkan Tefillah, our Sidur. It is actually from a special Sidur that we will be sharing on the screen. So you'll just be able to follow along by watching with us and participating with us from home. So with that, we are ready to begin, and we'll begin with our choir, who will come together a little differently than usual from our sanctuary, but through the magic of technology, they are here with us indeed to sing and welcome us together. Wonderful, incredible. So it is my pleasure now to invite one of the co-presidents of our sisterhood, Jenny Glickman-Ryan, to share some words of welcome.
Well, before we continue with the service, I would like to talk a little bit about how we got here. So this began with Rabbi Dan's sermon at the High Holidays. The images of all the You Don't Look Jewish members touched me and got me thinking about our diversity. And so began a journey. It began with conversations with some of our elders who hold the memories and the wisdom, and continued with more conversations with those who shared stories of far journeys with echoes of distant lands. Several of us listened, read, and asked questions. And so we arrived here this evening. As for me, I've learned so much, read rich, varied histories, absorbed so many stories, sat at times devastated by the traumas of these people, was awed when once again they rose, and I felt the warmth of the sun, of the food, of the poetry and the music. I wondered at the philosophers who conceived the mystic visions, wondered at the wisdom of the teachers who could condense the arguments of the rabbis into usable instructions. I relished the warmth of spices in the dishes from grandmother's kitchens. I've been enriched. So I am so grateful to have learned a little about these other traditions, and hope you all will find this weekend a way to get a taste of them as well. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Jenny. So we're going to continue now in our service booklet, and it is my pleasure to invite Helen Mendez to lead us in our welcome reading.
Welcome. We are single, married, partnered. We are with and without children. We are born Jewish, Jews by choice, and non-Jews married to Jews. We come from many different traditions, and our faces reflect our diverse origins. We are new and longtime members. We are mothers, daughters, and sisters.
Thank you so much, Helen. Our next reading, Lechilach, will be read by Tony Kennedy.
Together we are going forward in new ways and with new horizons, providing an environment of friendship, intellectual growth, and spirituality for our members. Serving our temple through social and educational programs, fundraising and financial support. Engaging women in activities that promote Tikkun Olam. We make a difference.
Terrific. Thank you, Tony. Shabbat Shalom. And to light our Shabbat candles and lead us in a reading before doing so, I want to invite Amy Gilbert to join us.
This light is mine. It was given to me in love. It was given to me in peace. This light was hers, that mother in our past who held it with pride. This light was theirs, those sisters of the ages who held it in awe. This light will be theirs, those daughters of our heart. May they hold it with care. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav etzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Thank you, Amy. So we will continue now on the next page of our service booklet with Chatzi Kaddish. If you would like to at home, I invite you to please stand, and Cantor Naomi will lead us.
This is a special melody, a Sephardic melody in keeping with the evening, and it dates back to the 16th century. So I didn't even know that. I've sung this melody since I was a little girl, and I hope many of you know it and recognize it and sing along. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, hishmiyanu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem ultiferet v'litahila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habaracha, merosh mikedem nasucha, sof maaseh b'machshava techila. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, uri, shir daberi,
אלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Such a beautiful melody. I have not heard that in years. Thank you for bringing that to us, Cantor Naomi. So I misspoke before. I said Chatzi Kaddish, but now we're actually at Chatzi Kaddish. So we'll invite Cantor to continue to lead us page 3.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'amad yivrachute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, bagala, uv'izman kariv, v'himeru, amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach, le'alam olam me'omaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei Dekudesha barichu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiram ve'alma ve'imheru, amen. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
You may be seated if you're standing. And we are going to continue now with a reading for Ma'ariv Aravim. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change. And within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Amen.
Amen. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael amcha Torah mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chokecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha u'b'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'yorech yameinu u'vahem negei yomam b'layla ve'ahavatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael.
My pleasure now to invite Shirley Hyman to lead us in a reading before the Shema.
Shema, You have to listen to hear. Shh. Can you hear? Can you hear the surprise and delight in Sarah's laughter? Can you hear the joy and pride in Miriam's song? Can you hear the strength and wisdom in Deborah's clear judgments? Can you hear warmth in a grandmother's voice calling children to the Shabbos table? Can you hear a mother's love as she recites the Sabbath blessings? Can you hear a daughter's clear, high voice chanting as she joins the circle of women? Can you hear sisters' earnest prayers as they share their goodness and courage? Can you hear a granddaughter's newborn cry as she joins the Jewish chorus? Can you hear your own heart beating, reaching to join the song of praise for Adonai? Shh. Can you hear? Can you hear the women who came before you? Can you hear the women yet to come? Can you hear us all as one? Shh. Listen. Hear.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Vaed ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen.
Amen. So before we hear from our choir again from Micha Mocha, we're going to hear a reading from Annika and Anya.
Okay. So we believe in tomorrow. We believe as Jews that we have the power to make tomorrow different from today. We believe that ignorance, poverty, insensibility to others need not be permanent. We believe in people despite all we know about them.
We believe that there can yet be a time of peace, of sisterhood and brotherhood, and a time of tranquility for all. We believe that we have a share in bringing that day closer with actions each day. The world may smile at our dreams, but no matter, we believe.
Thank you to both of you, and we'll continue now with our choir singing Micha Mocha. Fantastic. Thank you so much to our choir sisterhood. I love hearing that. It is now my honor to invite Donna Ornstein to lead us in our next reading.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Help us to walk with good friends so that we can lie down in peace, rise up ready to do what we know is needed, and live with hope as we face the future.
Thank you so much, Donna. And to lead us into Vishamru, a reading from Risa Devlin.
A thought has blown the marketplace away. There is a song on the wind and joy in the trees. Shabbat arrives in the world, scattering a song in the silence of the night, and eternity utters a day. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day, God ceased from work and was refreshed.
Thank you, Risa. We'll sing together with Cantor Naomi Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. Yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, Shabbat, yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, Shabbat, yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, 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 Shalom. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. Yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, Shabbat, yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, Shabbat, yum bada bim bum bye, Shabbat, Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom.
As we prepare for the Amidah, we'll invite Dinah Lewis to lead us in the reading, I Am a Jew.
I am a Jew who is a woman, and I pray. I braid the dough for the challah, and I bless the Shabbat candles and wrap myself in the talit I have woven, and I pray. I am a link between those who stood at Sinai and those who survived the Shoah, those who would dream and build futures and those who will gather the shattered shards of glass to heal the world. And I pray. I am a woman who is a Jew.
Thank you so much. Shabbat Shalom, Dinah.
Shabbat Shalom.
So I'll invite you at home as we prepare now for the Amidah. If you'd like to rise, as Cantor Naomi will lead us in Avot V'Imahot.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim v'Konei HaKol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Geola Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mechayei Metim Ata Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv HaRuach Morid HaGashem, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיה מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני העפר. מי כמוך בגבורות, ומידו מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום ילוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Amen. You may be seated at home, and for a reading on the Kedusha, I want to invite Sunny Rothschild. Sunny, I think you're muted. If you can unmute yourself. There you go.
Thought I did that. Let us not walk sightless among miracles unseeing. Adonai, give light to our eyes. Awaken us to the beauty of each new day. Days that glow with sunshine, butterflies, and the laughter of children. Nights that spread a quiet, peaceful warmth around us. Awaken us to the beauty of the blessing of love. Families who are precious, friends who are dear. Awaken us to the glories of nature, to the miracles all around us, whether pelting storm or soft summer breeze. Awaken us, Adonai, to you, as we learn to see and rejoice in the blessings of your everlasting love.
Amen. Thank you so much, Sunny. Continue on the bottom of the same page with Cantor Naomi.
Eloheinu v'Avoteinu v'Imotenu, Ritzei v'Menuchateinu, Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein chelkeinu b'toratecha, Sabeinu mituvecha, V'samcheinu b'shuatecha, V'taher libenu, V'taher libenu, V'taher libenu le'avdecha be'emet, V'taher libenu, V'taher libenu, V'taher libenu le'avdecha be'emet. V'anchileinu Adonai Eloheinu, be'ahava v'ratzon Shabbat kodechecha, ve'anucho v'Yisrael, Mekadesh mecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. I think that many of you know that Cantor Naomi, this is her last Shabbat in Vancouver, though she'll continue with us. So grateful from her new home where she's moving this weekend on Vancouver Island in Qualicum. We know that I'm feeling this is a very bittersweet moment with you, Naomi. And I think especially whenever we get to this part of the service, especially Friday night when we get to Ritzei, it's such a melody that I associate both with you and hearing your voice, but also singing with you. And I'm excited to do that once more. I know you can't hear me sing with you, but I'm harmonizing with you from home. So we'll join together at Ritzei.
Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu, be'amecha Yisrael, u'tefilatam be'ahava tekabel, u'tehila ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael. Yisrael Amecha,
Amen. We take time, as we do every time we gather, for an Amidah to offer a prayer of gratitude, of recognition of the blessings that surround us each day. We'll join together, Ve'al Kulam.
Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach v'yitromam, Yitbarach v'yitromam, Shimcha Malkeinu, Tamid le'olam va'ed. Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach v'yitromam, Yitbarach v'yitromam, Shimcha Malkeinu, Tamid le'olam va'ed. V'cholchem yuducha selah, v'yalalu et shimcha be'emet, Ha'el Yeshuateinu ve'ezratenu Salah. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha, Hatov Shimcha, Ulecha, Ulecha Na'eh Leodot.
Amen. Our choir will lead us now in a song of peace, of Shalom Rav.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Shalom, 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 Al Yisrael Amcha, shalom, shalom, Tasim leolam, shalom, shalom, Tasim leolam, shalom, shalom,
Fantastic. We'll take a moment now with those words of our prayer of peace to offer a silent prayer from our hearts. Very, very.
Oh, say shalom, Bimromav, Uyaseh shalom. Oh, say shalom, Bimromav, Uyaseh shalom.
And familiar to us from our sisterhood services over the years. And I want to mention that the composer of that piece, Joan Becco, who was a beloved member of our sisterhood and our Temple Shalom congregation, actually a founding member of Temple Shalom, died just a few weeks ago. We're still in a period of Shloshim and remembering Joan and how much she meant to our whole community, but especially our sisterhood, and we think of her tonight very much. So thank you to the choir for bringing the music of Joan to us, as well as the rest of your music tonight. We take a moment now in our service to, of course, offer a Misha Berach prayer of healing for all of those who are not well and in need of prayer of healing. And we think especially the Shabbat of Esther Brindle, Michael Frimmer, Mel Karp, Yana Timko, Dr. Dimitri Zanazin, Lynn Shabo, Shayna Stewicki, Jack Karp, Maylor Valance, Elliot Pohl, Sanford Cohen, Jean Angus, Sarah Chiachi, Kim Bennett, Sarah Bat Avraham Vasara, Igor Ilyasov, Ed Ozer, David Shlomo Gorney, Ronnie Goldberg, Andrea Jarjbiak, Maureen Newman, and Neil Tapley. I invite you, if there are other people that you are thinking of this Shabbat, if you want to share their names out loud or in your heart, so that together we can offer a Misha Berach for them.
Misha Berach Avotenu Makor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lehavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
So Shabbat Shalom again to all of you, both all of you watching at home and taking part in our Shabbat service tonight, and all of you who are with us on the Zoom. It's actually really wonderful to have so many people on our Friday night Zoom. Usually it's just the clergy, so it's great to see all of your faces in the background of our Zoom. We are really, really lucky tonight. We're having a wonderful and special, I don't know if I'd call it a drush because it's coming from multiple voices and instruments, actually. We're going to weave together some stories told by a few members of our sisterhood, our congregation, as well as some musical pieces by Joyce and Rebecca Cherry. And I'm delighted to hear all of them. And I know that that all that they bring will really enrich our Shabbat tonight. So it's my pleasure to begin by inviting our own Tammy Gabay to share her words with us.
Thank you, Rabbi Brown. Shabbat Shalom to everybody, and a special thank you to the Sisterhood for this weekend Shabbaton that's celebrating diverse roots and delving into the Sefardic experience. And a big thank you to Jenny for this opportunity to talk about it. Okay, so for many, the Jewish identity has been this funny push-pull of being deeply rooted in our community while having this otherness feeling day to day. Being Sephardic, funnily enough, has another layer to the otherness, so otherness. It's different from mainstream Western Jewish personification, and I can't tell you how many conversations I've had in a Jewish circle that go like this. So what's your background? Well, I'm Iraqi. There are Jews in Iraq? Yes, there are many of us. No, really, are there Jews there? Yeah, there's a huge Jewish community in places like Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Yemen, Tunisia, Spain, Lebanon, Syria, Morocco, Algiers, just to name a few. We're everywhere. You're married to us. We're friends with you. We work with you. So what are we? Sephardic Jews have a brilliant and deep culture, and instead of matzo ball soup and brisket, which are insanely delicious and I love very much, We have fragrant, spicy cuisine that's borecas and huevos haminados and oras pilau and bamia and sambusak and kuba and tbit and malawach and schug and jachnun and amba, just to name a few. We have great thinkers like the Rambam, and we have doctors and lawyers and engineers and judges and innovators and talented writers and poets and musicians and performers. And we are wildly rich with language, with many versions of Arabic and Ladino and Farsi and Urdu and Marathi, and throwing in some French and Italian for good measure. I mean, in my house, it was not unusual to have one sentence in 4 or 5 languages. And I would say many Sephardic families would probably share that. And most of all, we are so loud. Oh my gosh, we are so loud at family gatherings, especially with the kululululululululus. We are a brilliant, colorful tapestry of communities, many of which have been terribly displaced, and they had to rebuild their lives again and start a whole new generation. And their contribution made by Sephardic Jews is immense. And by doing events like this, I want to thank you for recognizing it and opening up the tent. So by doing this, we're saying that we are an undeniable part of the Jewish mainstream experience. And I want to thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you so much, Tammy. I think we are ready for our first musical interlude. It was beautiful, incredible. Thank you, Rebecca on violin and Joyce on the piano. It is my pleasure to invite now our beloved Bella Sherman to join us to share her own words. Bella, are you there?
Right?
There you go.
Am I okay?
You're great.
Thank you, Rabbi. Brown. Thank you very much for your introduction. And thank you, Tammy. I am so pleased to be another Sephardi in Vancouver. I hope someday I can meet you. I can meet you personally. Well, tonight, most of you, of course, know me, and I'm going to speak about my Spanish roots. I was born in the city of Tetuan, located in the Spanish protectorate of Spain, in the northern tip of North Africa. Looking back to my childhood, I realized how blessed I was to be born there. Why? Because I grew up living surrounded by what is called the Abrahamic traditions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. We all live together, caring and accepting each other, independent of our different religious beliefs, our background. Nobody felt different. We were just friends, laughing, playing together as kids normally do, and enjoying life. This gave me a very strong foundation to live a successful life among strangers when I moved to North America. It was in North America that I experienced a feeling of being different. Why? Because I was a Sephardic Jew. It was here that I learned about the Eastern Jews or Ashkenazi Jews. And since I was and still am living in an Ashkenazi community, I decided to learn all about Ashkenazi history and customs while practicing my Sephardic customs and rituals. But 3 years ago, I was traveling with a friend in the southern part of Spain, and we found ourselves visiting Seville. So it is there that I experienced and brought to the forefront my Sephardic roots. While checking in this beautiful, beautiful hotel, which originated were all the houses that they took and appropriated from the Spanish Jews before their expulsion, I came, the concierge in the hotel said to me, "Are you here to visit the Jewish museum?" I said, "What Jewish museum?" He said, "Oh, what the heck? We have a Jewish museum." And he proceeded to tell me the history of it. And it seems that a Christian philanthropist decided to fund the museum in order to tell the whole world the history of the expulsion of the Jews from Spain. Well, needless to tell you, as soon as we put our luggage in the room, right, we walked to the museum around the corner from the hotel. The museum is very small. And when I entered, I was speechless. Right in front of me, there were the most beautiful 3 walls, all surrounded by these panels in papyrus, written in the most beautiful calligraphy, all about the history of the Spanish Jews in all Castilian. I was in awe, and it was all dated by centuries, 8th centuries, 9th centuries, 10th centuries, until 1492. It was really amazing. And then when you continue, there was another wall on my right with the most beautiful map of Spain with all the routes, arrows, depicting the routes that the Jews were going or went when they were exported from Spain, Italy, Turkey, Greece, everywhere, Rhodes, Crete. And then right in front of me, there was an arrow right direct to my city. And I look and I said, that is Tetuan. That's where I was born. Well, needless to tell you how I felt. But the worst was to come because as I turned around, there was a room with all the instruments that they use, the instrument of torture that they used to torture all the Jews that didn't want to convert to Christianity. I cannot tell you the strong feelings I have of anger, rage. And then all of a sudden I had an epiphany. I didn't want anger in my life. I don't want rage in my life. I don't want violence in my life. And so I decided and immediately found myself forgiving all the people that had caused so much suffering and are now dead. And I thought to myself, may the dead rest in peace. At the same time, in this emotional state in which I was, something came to my mind. How did we survive all these centuries? All my people, they have lived in this city, just this city, for 800 years. Right in front of me, I saw the whole history of all my people. And then I realized that it is in keeping our rituals and our liturgies and our customs and our culture and traditions, they are so powerful that we survived. That is our power. The history of so much suffering which my ancestor experienced and from which I descend gave me the resilience and anchor to navigate the transition from being born in a 14th century Spanish Jewish mentality and successfully live presently in a 21st century North America. That is my heritage, of which I am very proud. And no matter where or among whom I choose to live, I always know and will always know who I am. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Bella, that was so beautiful. Thank you for that. I can picture that room with the panels and all that incredible calligraphy and history right there.
It gives me goosebumps still today.
Beautiful, beautiful. So we're going to listen to another musical piece now from Rebecca and Joyce. Beautiful. So our final speaker tonight will be our own Linda Arato. Linda.
Thank you, and thank you for that beautiful music. My grandmother used to sing Cuando el Rey Nimrod, so it's very special. All my grandparents were born in Turkey, 3 of them in Istanbul and Nonna in Izmir. My mother's parents died during World War II, so I'll just talk about my father's family. Our family left the Iberian Peninsula during the Inquisition and moved eastwards, ending up in a town called Zara in Croatia, where we got the name Da Zara. The town is now called Zadar. Later, my ancestors moved to Venice, having heard how the Doge protected the Jews in the ghetto. For despite the unsanitary and unhealthy overcrowding and overbuilding, the ghetto was a safe haven. The Doge, elected for life, ruled Venice. For him, the Jews were important as a safety valve for the poorest people to be able to pawn an item or borrow money rather than rebel. And the Doge permitted the Jews to sell secondhand clothing. And as the Christians could not charge interest, the Jews were able to make a living as pawnbrokers and moneylenders. This is my family's Haggadah with the name of Chaim Moshe Dazara inside. It is an illuminated manuscript. It is illuminated and it's dated 1740. And my family brought this out with them around 1810 when they left Venice for a better life in Turkey. In Turkey, the Jews lived under the dhimmi as second-class citizens, but felt safer than in Europe as there were no Christian pogroms. The Jews were allowed to trade as merchants, own ships as importers and exporters, and to practice their religion. They were often employed as tax collectors and other municipal officers. Basic existence was modest. Houses were made of wood. There were frequent fires with no water or sanitation. Usually 3 generations of the same family lived in one house. Going to the Turkish bath was a weekly event and a treat for the female family members and children who sat in groups with food and spent a restful day at the baths. In Turkey, the Alliance Israélite had been set up to teach Jews languages, especially French, and also English at the American school, so that they could trade with Jews in other countries. In Jewish Istanbul, French was the language of educated people. Nono spoke several European languages, plus some Arabic and basic Turkish, and was linguistically gifted as he left school at an early age. My brother and I were sent to France for several months to improve our French as teenagers. My great-grandparents moved to Cairo, where Nono and Nonna met and later married in 1906. Nonna had won a lottery prize, so the wedding was very stylish, with 24 horse-drawn carriages taking the family and guests to synagogue. My great-grandfather made a living going to exhibitions and trade fairs, selling Turkish trinkets featuring Oriental bazaars. He and Nono were at the famous St. Louis World Fair in 1904. Remember the movie, Meet Me in St. Louis, Louis? Or Louis, I don't know. In 1910, the family moved to London for the Crystal Palace exhibition. They planned to go to the USA later, but World War I intervened. Nono was permitted to remain in London to support his family, but his brother-in-law and other single Turkish men were interned on the Isle of Man. Nono had a small business importing novelties from Europe and a small allotment growing vegetables. Nonna earned extra income by sewing nose bags for the British war horses on her foot-operated Singer sewing machine. She was the center of our family, warm and welcoming, singing Ladino songs as she cooked for her growing family. Her education was basically cookery and needlework, but she could read and write Ladino in solitreo, a form of Hebrew script. Later, Nono taught her Roman letters, but English spelling was difficult, so he taught her to read Spanish so she could enjoy reading novels. She spoke English with Ladino phrases, and despite no formal education, she was a whiz at poker and simple mathematics. Nonna kept a good kosher home with kosher meat and no shellfish, etc., but the restriction on milk after meat was unheard of in the Turkish English Sephardi community. A milk pudding was often served after a meat meal. The family had no contact with Ashkenazim at that time, and we discovered that we came from very different backgrounds. In London, my great-grandfather and Nono started a small Sephardi synagogue for Jews from Turkey, Egypt, and Salonika. In 1924, helped by Bevis Mark synagogues, they established an Orthodox Sephardi synagogue in Holland Park. Both my father's and mother's families were involved, and in 1935, my parents were married there. When my father returned from the war in 1946, we moved to Brighton, many miles from the rest of my father's family. I was shocked as a teenager to find educated Jews there who had never heard of the Sephardim. Eventually, 4 Sephardi families moved to Brighton and had 5 Ashkenazi synagogues to serve them. My best Sephardi memories are Pesach celebrations spent with Nonna, Nono, and cousins in Leicester singing the old Ladino songs. I never attended a Sephardi synagogue except for 1 or 2 weddings. But I had 2 Ashkenazi husbands who loved my Sephardi food. Now, some Ladino, some Judeo-Spanish with Turkish or Spanish origins. Nonna called me Chanum, which means beloved. Mashallah, may God preserve you from the evil eye. Comer ik kayarti, eat and be quiet, often said by me to my sons, and now to my grandsons. Thank you.
That was so wonderful. Thank you so much, Linda, and
Oh, you're
Shabbat
welcome.
Shalom.
I could have done 10 pages. You're lucky I only did 2.5.
Well, I can't speak for everyone else, but for myself, I would love to hear more. And I think that, I mean, not right now, but
no.
Other times.
Someday we could write books about it.
Of course.
We could write books about it.
Well, on behalf of all of us, I just want to say thank you to Linda and Bella and Tammy for sharing your stories and your memories and customs. You know, I think what's really beautiful, though, you know, all from Sephardic backgrounds, so different from the different places in the world from which you come, and the peoplehood of being part of the Jewish people, and the richness and the diversity of all of us is really something that I cherish, and I think all of us do. And to know more about our stories only adds to that. So thank you so much. You know, by extension, I want to just thank, of course, all of you who participated in our service this evening, our Sisterhood members, for your readings, and our choir for, wow, I mean, talk about a COVID challenge of putting together a virtual choir like that. You did a beautiful job. You know, a special thank you to Annette for organizing much of that. And of course, thank you to Jenny and to Jean for organizing our service readings and finding our participants, and Jenny for all of your work in organizing the Shabbaton. It's really been spectacular, and such incredible joy for all of us. And I know I speak for Rabbi Dan as well, who's watching from home, that this really is just such a wonderful reflection of our congregation and our community. So thank you, Sisterhood. I do want to share just a couple of announcements of what's to come this Shabbat and in the coming week. So tomorrow, our Shabbaton continues with our Sisterhood. Our service will be at 10 a.m. we have a really wonderful speaker. I'm very, very excited. A colleague, Rabbi Tarlan Rabizadeh, who is the first female Persian rabbi. She is going to be joining us from Los Angeles, and I'm really excited. So she'll give the drash, and then she'll also join us after our Shabbat morning service. We have each week a Zoom Kaddish, so a chance to greet one another, and Tarlan will join us there as well, so we can talk with her, and she's very excited to meet our congregation. Tomorrow night, Havdalah at 7:30 on Zoom. I invite you to join us for that, as we do each week, and Morning Minyan on Mondays and Wednesdays. A few other things just to mention. My short introductory Talmud class continues next week, and the following week, the 4th and the 11th, about arguments and how we look at them as being for the sake of heaven. Jeff Balin's Torah Inspired Leadership Group will meet this coming week on Wednesday night. Our Torah study and Talmud class continue. This was yesterday, so we missed that, but you can watch if you want to watch on our YouTube channel about Dr. Tiro Shapiro talking about therapies and vaccines for COVID. We have our final session with Mike Hollander coming up this week as well on Wednesday at noon. So at lunchtime, you can come and visit Israel with Mike Hollander. He's going to be giving a talk about water in Israel, which would be such an important topic and interesting as well. And then finally, I'll just mention, as we said earlier in the service, Cantor Naomi will be moving to the island this weekend, but we are so pleased she's going to stay with us through June to be with us online with our experience, but we want to have a special chance to wish her well and to say Lehitraot. And so we'll be having a really, really beautiful evening on February 27th. So please join us, and it's a great chance to honor and celebrate Naomi. So I think that is all. And we will now continue as we conclude our service. So we'll turn back to our Siddur booklet on page 13 for Aleinu. I invite you, if you choose, to rise at home.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gdula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoye haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chohamonam, v'anachnu karim u'mishtachavim u'modim, Lifnei Malach Malchei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehu Noteh Shamayim Ve'oseh Haaretz U'Moshe V'Karo B'Shamayim Imo U'Shchinatu Zo V'Govei Meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efesulato Katuv b'Torato v'yadata hayom v'shevota elevavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim imo ve'aretz mitachat einod v'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yihye Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
So as we prepare now for Kaddish and our thoughts turn to the memories of loved ones who we miss, our choir is going to be singing the song Peaceful River in memory of the Sisterhood choir members that we have lost.
There is a peaceful river deep within my soul, filling my world with hope and making my spirit whole. Peace is the gift I offer, peace that we all can know. Pass it along and let the river flow. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Like a river in my soul.
Of those who are no longer with us, we, especially the Shabbat, share the names of loved ones for whom we say Kaddish, whose memories are a blessing in our lives. The Shabbat, we are in a period of Shloshim for Joan Becko, Captain Michael Boskovich, Adele Chechik, Ted Cohn, Steve Shore, and Elchanan Tal. We mark yahrzeit this week of Byron Aceman, Sidney Joshua Becker, Anna Bild, Ida Bobaroff, Samuel Brezer, Howard Carr, Franco de Rungs, Alfred DeYoung, Leah Esquenazi, Risa Garanza, Charles Gold, Zisman Groner, Sella Heller, Yankov David Herzog, Eric Katz, George Kemeny, Gerald Krivel, Millie Levitan Lazar, Arthur Mayron, Frank Ognestoff, Ethel Poslins, Leon Harvey Ratner, Rosa Rostas, Louis Schiffman, Abe Silverman, Philip Singer, George Street, Fred Walker, Jerry Yates, and Lillian Ziff. There are any other names of people you are remembering, I invite you to share their names out loud or in your heart. So we rise together on page 14 in our service booklet for the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yit'alal shmei dekudsha barichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru amen. Yehi zichronam livracha. May their memories always be a blessing. So we say together, amen. So we are going to conclude now with a closing song of Lechilach, sung again by our choir. Shabbat shalom to everyone. We can't wait to see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're going to leave you with a little bit more music, but we're going to say goodbye from all of us for now. Shabbat shalom.